guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am finally making my rune overview video. I'm going to be going over every single rune that is currently in the game as of update 10. Anything added after update 10 will not be in this video, and I swear if a rune's added tomorrow, I'm gonna cry inside. Alright, anyways, but before I get into anything else, all I gotta say is I really hope the RPG Sim Easter event ends either today or tomorrow. If not, I think it's gone on too long, but I'm sure all you already know that. So before I even go into any rune, I'm going to start with the Rune of Void. What does this do? Nothing! All it is useful for is selling on the market and or dismantling it for shards. Every time you dismantle a rune, as in quick sell it in your inventory, you get 50 rune shards back, which is pretty useful if you ask me. Alright, so I'm going to go over the runes that I currently have in game first so I can actually show gameplay. The first rune we will go over is the Rune of the Lunar Eclipse. What it does is it greatly improves the damage and AoE effects of the moon cutters and moon slices. Essentially, they will go through many more monsters. This is a fantastic rune to get. I recommend every player has one because it is very useful for cutting down weak mobs quickly, and it is, in my opinion, the most useful run for carrying low levels through raids. Next is the Rune of the Hurricane, my personal favorite mobbing rune. Basically what it does is it turns Sword Splitter into a tornado with wider range, and Windstorm now produces electricity and also gives you more movement during windstorms, and you do not lose all of your movement speed. This requires level 400 and it is one of easily the best runes in the game. I highly recommend everyone picks this up. However, there is definitely better things to use for boss killing. This rune thrives at mobbing. It is a very good rune for mobbing. Next is the Shattered Rune of the Battler. What it does is it greatly improves ground breaks damage the less HP a monster has, and it does even greater damage against boss monsters, but no one really uses ground break, and Shatter's damage is increased, and it requires level 400. This is a decent rune. I don't recommend you go out of your way for it. It can be very valuable in the mines, but otherwise it is kind of just one of those runes that you kind of hold on to and sell for gold. It also requires level 400. Next is the Rune of the Silencer. Every single player watching this video must have this rune. I highly recommend all of you go after this rune. It is very good. Basically what it does is it increases the total debuff length of Lure Jab to 6 seconds and reduces enemy defense by 125%. Lure Jab's damage is increased, and basically it also heals you for 10% of your total HP. It requires level 300, and this is the absolute best support rune you can use in the game. Any 3-man or larger raid team must have a Silencer in their group to be effective. Silencer is just stupid good. And really, probably most people watching this also have a Silencer. If you get a Silencer, hold on to it and or sell it on the market. Do not let people get it from you for cheap. Silencer is very good. Next is the Rune of the Azure Phoenix. Basically what it does is basic attacks will send out phoenixes that deal a lot of damage, and it greatly boosts the damage of Blaze Slash. This is arguably the best rune in the game. There's another rune I'll go over next, which is the other arguably best rune in the game. This requires level 400, and it is very valuable. If you ever get these, never trade for anything that is undervalued. These things go for a lot of gold. There's a reason why I have 263 million gold. I make a lot of gold based off from runes and other items. The Azure rune goes for a lot of money, and it is very effective at boss killing, and overall it's just a great rune because it gives Blade Slash has a quick cooldown and it deals so much damage. Next is the Rune of the Flame God. This is the other arguably best rune in the game. It turns Acceleration, Divider, and Shatter into DOT fire abilities, and Acceleration Divider is very powerful. Both Azure and Flame God are easily the top tier runes in this game. Every player should likely have both. Azure, in my opinion, excels at speedrunning raids, while Flame God is the ultimate solo ability. Using Flame God alone in the nest was one of the best things I've done. Never did it before today, and I didn't realize how strong Flame God really is alone. So never ever underestimate Flame God, all because it is a DOT ability. So next we're going to go over the runes that I do not actually have in my inventory, discounting Egg Rune. We'll talk about Egg Rune at the end. The Rune of Vitality increases health regen to 4% and requires level 100 to use. It is kind of seen as a trash rune. Don't go for this. This is probably one of the worst runes in the game. Even if you're level 100, it's not very good. If you're level 100 and you have this, that's great, obviously, for level 100, but yeah, it's not very good. Next is the Rune of Life, which is the only rune I have never ever crafted. I've had it, I've just never been able to craft it, which is kind of weird. But what does it do? Well, Mending Sword's range is boosted by 150% and it heals by 250%. It requires level 100 use. The problem with this rune is healing is not very viable right now. The main thing you want to do in this game is go for as much damage as you can. Defensive strategies are kind of weak, therefore this rune is kind of weak. Next is the Rune of the Blade. Basically what it does is triple basic attack damage, but it also triples sword splitter ability. So you know how you throw out one sword and then a tornado spawns where that sword hits an enemy? You now throw out 3 swords and 3 tornadoes spawn. It's pretty cool, but overall not very effective and it requires level 100. This is also kind of a trash rune. Next is the Rune of Striking. It increases critical damage to 3 times. Again, not a very good rune. It requires level 100, but I will say this is definitely the best rune at level 100 you can get because increasing critical damage to 3 times, and if you're critting a lot, that's a lot of damage. Just the other level 400 runes are overall better. Next is the Rune of the Protector. Basically what it does is safeguards uptime extends to 8 seconds. It is going to be reworked, I'm pretty sure, so this may not be accurate later, but it requires level 100. Now, it's also kind of a trash rune, to be honest, so there's not much else to be said about it. Now, time for the Egg Rune. This is the first limited rune ever added to the game. It's basically Protector, but with eggs. I really like the Egg Rune. It's kind of a funny meme to have. It is very hard to get, super rare and super expensive, so if you have one, I recommend you hold on to it. But that is basically all the runes. Thank you guys for showing me so much support lately, and hopefully this video was helpful. I planned on hopefully getting out more videos this week, but I've been having some computer problems, so it has been kind of difficult. Anyways, thanks for sticking around, and I will see all of you later. Bye!